Good morning, good late morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC to immediately be followed by the Agape boarding school situation, which we finally have some court documents. But first, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, folks, you are going to find the link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to JRC's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused to comply, so please read that article and share on all your social media. We also have a link to NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC actually has the cojones to see through with their threat. We also have the links in regards to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens that has, and pending, over 21 lawsuits and allegations substantiated by the Department of Social Services here in Missouri include child abuse, sexual abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, starvation, and, get this, child trafficking. We have had so far one former staff arrested by the FBI, another a former doctor who still lives on the premises, up on multiple substantiated claims of sodomy and sexual abuse of the students. We've had the Attorney General fuck things up so goddamn bad that the original case had to be dismissed, and he has recently filed a petition for a new case. I actually have the court documents, finally. And we're going to go through this new petition over the next few Tuesdays. This dude has fumbled the ball so bad, folks, that he let a small county prosecutor push him around like a little boy in the freaking schoolyard, and he wants to go to Washington and make us believe he could stand up to Washington. Dude can't even stand up to a small county prosecutor. Come on now, Eric. Come the fuck on now. You can't even protect the children in your own fucking state. I'm not sending your ass to Washington. I like the name and shame on this channel, folks, so please share those articles on all your social media. Tag them. It is @simple, capital A, capital G, capital ERIC, capital SCHMITT. That is his Twitter handle, folks, so please make sure when you link those articles and share them on Twitter that you make sure to link his ass in it and let him know how you feel, okay? We also have linked the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. If you could, folks, please sign and share on all your social media. We also got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. The stupidity as we have been going through this recent article that we're almost finished with, thank God, is triggering because it is so nonsensical. It is so gaslighting. It is so defending the indefensible. That is probably going to be triggering for you, so warnings about that in advance. Also, this channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we talk about dark subjects on this channel. If your child is under 16 and watching this, please, for the love of God, parental supervision should go without saying, all right? Now, it is 11:24. I got up way later than I wanted to. I'm not awake yet, folks, even though it's 11:24, so if I stumble over my words, apologies in advance, all right? Okay, to where we left off yesterday. God help us all. I vote Comet Hit the Earth 2022. Just saying. I'm voting for the comet. The following valuable changes occur in the course of this training. On each trial on which the stimulus is presented and the student does not display the problem behavior, the stimulus loses a little bit of its stimulus control over the problem behavior through a process known as extinction. Oh my god, you're fucking retarded. Excuse me for using this word. I apologize for using that word. I know it's an ableist slur. I'm sorry. I really am. It just kind of slipped out there. But this is a special kind of stupid. Well, if we force them to engage in behavior and they punish it, and then no matter what we do or how we punish them, they don't engage in behavior, it means it's no longer there and serves no purpose. No, you fucking morons. That's not what's happening. Can I introduce some logic into this? Can I please? Thank you. I'm going to do it anyway. What they're doing is avoiding punishment. That is not the same as successfully getting the behavior, no longer there, substituting it for another less dangerous one, or, actually dealing with the triggering problem. So we wouldn't have to worry about it recurring. It's masking, folks. It's masking. That's all it is. What they are doing, JRC, is they know that you are going to torture them horrendously. They already know they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't, but they want to take the lesser punishment, if at all possible. So, they will force themselves to mask. But here's the problem. The triggering underlying issue that causes the behavior is still there. And it's still going to be there after they leave JRC or have the device removed and they're no longer under threat. What happens when you're no longer under threat of being harmed for a particular behavior if the triggering event has not been sufficiently and properly dealt with? Well, what do you think's going to happen? They're going to start doing it again because the actual problem has remained undealt with. This isn't rocket science. Now, the problem with teaching us to mask in the meantime, what have I told you about masking, folks? Besides the obvious that it causes extreme psychological and emotional harm and damage to a fucking child. Teaching a child to hate themselves and then patting yourselves on the fucking back for forcing us to pretend to be somebody else and hate who we are as human beings and never being able to actually accept ourselves as a whole person except through a lengthy ass process through therapy is not a win. Masking for too long has severe physical and psychological consequences. It causes autistic burnout. When we literally just fucking can't no more. Or as I like to call it, it's a complete shutdown. It is a complete physical and psychological fucking shutdown, folks. It's almost like a freaking memory drive wipe. It can permanently disable us psychologically and physically. Make it damn near impossible be able to function with the outside world. Masking for too fucking long with never an end in sight. We're just barely scratching the surface on research inside my community of what prolonged masking for too long looks like and the ramifications on that for our psychological and emotional well-being and health, as well as the physical toll it takes on our body. We already know that too much stress, be you neurotypical or atypical, has an enormous effect on one's physical health and even one's ability on their immune system to be able to fight off diseases. We know this already. Now, put on top the stresses of everyday life and deal with what the fuck we have to deal with every day. And have all your self-soothing techniques completely and utterly removed from you. How do you think that's going to go? It's not a win because the behavior disappeared and now they're smiling and happy. Yet we're showing you what you want to see. We're very smart, JRC. Way fucking smarter than any of you people outside of our community give us fucking credit for. We know what you want to see. We will show you the image that you want to see just so you would leave us the fuck alone. It's very simple. Masking, putting on fake-ass smiles, fake-ass laughs. Even neurotypicals do it, but not to the extent that we fucking have to. We're not actually happy, JRC. We're not actually less depressed. In fact, the more likely, the more smiles that we show if we're in a school like this, the happier we seem. More than likely, the more miserable we actually fucking are. Okay? It's not a win. It's not a win to force us to mask because your asses are too goddamn lazy to do your fucking jobs properly. The behaviors are not the only fucking things that goddamn matter. We are human fucking beings. We've got some issues that are specifically patented for our neurology. Let's deal with these issues in a way that doesn't make fucking children as young as 3 forced into ABA fucking hate themselves for the entirety of their lives, to the point where they get to adulthood and they get away from this shit where they have to somehow unlearn all that self-loathing and self-hatred that was taught to them by rote as fucking kids into their teenage years. Let's actually deal with the triggering issues, okay? Jesus Christ. On each trial on which the stimulus is presented and the student displays an alternative desired behavior, the stimulus acquires a little bit more control over that desired behavior. Here the fuck we go again. But you're giving us what we want. Isn't that success? No, Karen, it's not. That is not a success because you're seeing what you want to see. The underlying buried issue, the ones that you force us to continue to shove down and shove down and shove down till they can't be anymore. Where do you think meltdowns come from, JRC? Especially when we're in our adulthood. It's because you taught us to bury and deny and bury and deny and bury and deny our issues instead of dealing with them properly. And guess what? We better shock them. They're having a behavior, but it's not our fault. We show them alternative behaviors. You see where I mean? There's a real fucking simple solution that doesn't require torture or making us hate ourselves and making us have to unlearn that hatred if we're fucking lucky. There's a reason due to stress and pure ass exhaustion while an autistic who's still living at my age is considered ancient. Just saying. That is a sad truth, by the way. Not many of us actually get to see old age. The stress of having to constantly mask all the time, it takes a real fucking toll on one's physical health, especially those of us who have heart issues. Just saying. Eventually, with sufficient number of trials, the stimulus no longer triggers the problem behavior and the triggers the desired behavior instead. Is that what you do to convince yourselves? So it's triggering something else instead. See, they're doing it. Masking, JRC. Masking is one of the most difficult and yet also one of the most easy things to do on the planet. Difficult because the self-loathing and the psychological damage that goes with it. Easy because it's easy enough to see what you want out of us. And if we do it, maybe the torture will stop. But it is exhausting. It's draining. It's dehumanizing and it's fucking depressing. You're not actually dealing with the trigger because what you think the trigger is isn't what the trigger is. But now you're getting the positive attention that you wanted. I didn't want attention, Karen. That is you imparting onto me and projecting onto me, again, neurotypical toddler motivations. Not even neurotypical motivation, but neurotypical toddler motivations. This idea that we're trying to manipulate an outcome or get love from our peers or blah. You're not actually treating the problem that's actually there, JRC. You are treating a fucking straw man. Can I say that for the people in the back? You're not treating the real problem, JRC. You are treating a fucking straw man that you created in your fucking heads. It's not true. We are not doing it for attention. We're not trying to manipulate people. Your own fucking goddamn DSM-5 will tell you that. You look at the DSM-5, right? This is the diagnostic tool, right? You look at studies from Yale, Harvard, fucking Oxford, for God's sake. And those who've studied us on a behavioral level. And what have they found out? We're actually very not manipulative. We are actually very rigid about our particular codes of conduct and morals. So rigid that we will stick to them even under threat, even when it would be easy to do otherwise. Matter of fact, it's become something that they consider a bad thing. And yet, all early intervention, ABA, the shit they cram down parents' throats from go, is all based on this concept that no, we're actually manipulative little shits, that we're just trying to force our way, get our way, or get attention. Which one is it? You got multiple studies saying the exact opposite. Which one is it? And if what the DSM-5 that is used to diagnose our asses is true, then why is all early intervention made off of the back of the polar opposite? It doesn't make sense, does it? If we are not engaging in these behaviors to manipulate or try to get a preferred outcome, if instead we are acting within our neurology, if there is instead other triggering issues, sensory, for fucking example, something psychological going on, maybe the kid's getting fucking bullied like pretty much all of us goddamn do. Maybe the ABA bullshit has finally got to us and we're having a problem. Any of this could be a factor. Not to mention the fact that we are like 1,000,000 times more likely to have been abused than your average neurotypical. What causes those behaviors are as different and as varied as the individual autistic that you are dealing with at the time. This is why this cookie cutter shit doesn't work, and what you put in its place as an alternative does not work over the long period of time, and in matter of fact ends up making things into adulthood way fucking worse. So, what is my solution here instead of torturing us and making us hate ourselves our whole fucking lives? Deal with the real issues. Quit goddamn thinking that because you got a fucking doctorate from an Ivy League that you think you know everything. Put down your fucking doctorate. Quit acting like that means that you know everything. Because you don't. Sit down, shut up, listen to your fucking patients and your consumers. It's not that difficult to do. And parents, quit just taking what these doctors and these schools say to you at face value. You can't. A good majority of them are ate up on shit that's from 30 fucking years ago. They are so caught in their ways that they refuse to listen to any logic, sense, or even current science. For your child's sake, just don't accept what these doctors and medical models say blindly. Question these doctors. Make them work for you. Don't let them get lazy and just put your child in ABA and then there's no hope for you. No, there's more answers out there than that. Get involved. Research. Talk to your child. Other experts in the field who have listened to us. This is how person-centered planning came to be. Teaching them how to use assistive devices. This is one of the big things with the nonverbals. For some reason, medical model just assumes we're all freaking fucking stupid. We're not. Help us find ways of communicating. Some have learned how to sign. Some have learned to use electronic devices. There's always a way. And I'm going to close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please, folks, don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I will see you for the next video. Bye-bye.